welcome back. Let's bring in Ige Akaraga. Is a member of the Nigerian Guild of Editors. Mr. Akaraga, thank you so much for your patience and for coming through.
Good morning, Jeffrey and Bukola. It's a pleasure to be here this morning.
Absolutely. We'll get started with the Vanguard, but I'm sure you have comments about what the video. We had to play the entire video of the face-off between Honorable Minister Wike and the military officer. But in addition to that, let's read what the Vanguard is leading with. Diplomatic Trump. It leads with Trump. Diplomatic engagement yielding results. That's according to the federal government. Alleges certain U.S.-based lobby groups working to misrepresent the situation. FG not doing enough. They're increasing killing. That's according to U.S. Congressman. The couple of riders and all of that. Mr. Akaraga, now to you.
Well, I've always said that these are interesting times. The blame game continues. The minister, Mohammed Idris, is a great professional. He's one of our very senior colleagues in the profession. Yes, he's doing a good job, but the point being missed here is how did we get to where we are in the first place? Rather than blame some lobbyists in the United States and some banned groups in Nigeria that are lobbying the U.S., either to invade Nigeria, to impose economic sanctions. The point is, how did we get to where we are? Now, we have laws guarding us. We have the Nigerian Constitution, which is the ground norm in the first place. Can we look at ourselves in the face and say that we are obeying the Nigerian Constitution? We have the Federal Republic of Nigeria with two sets of laws. We have the criminal code operating in southern Nigeria, and then we have the penal code operating in northern Nigeria. Yet this is one country. Now, some political proponents in the north has moved beyond the penal code to enact the Sharia code, Sharia set of laws, that prescribe certain punishments for certain crimes, which also is taken care of in the Constitution. So these are the legal ambiguities. These are the legal conundrums. Each time I hear the minister or some government officials talking about the complexity of the Nigerian state, or that the Nigerian situation is different, it is complex, it is multidimensional, and it is difficult to understand. Yes, we have made it so complex, we have deliberately made it so difficult for others to understand. But those who are attacking people, who are killing people, who are grabbing and seizing lands, of course have a clear agenda. They know what they are doing. They know they are going to hide under this so-called complex, multi-ethnic, multi-tribal, multi-religious state to explain away the mass killing of Nigerians. I don't think anybody who is watching the Nigerian situation is impressed. And if you look at the U.S. Congressman Bill Hoxada, who is insisting that the Nigerian government is not doing enough, and it resonates with so many people. Yes, it is easy to accuse people who don't agree with the government of being unpatriotic. But have we been able to fix our problems? Just look at what you took time to show Nigerians this morning, the show of shame, the show of disgrace between the Minister of the FCT and Naval officers over land. Now, anybody watching this anywhere in the world, is that going to instill and inspire confidence, whether it's in terms of investment, whether in terms of property and personal security as you come into the country? This is the nation's capital. I feel very ashamed that this played out. But again, I must commend the naval officer who exercised utmost restraint. It takes a great training by an officer at that level to restrain himself, because they were even shoving and pushing, and you could see the minister, using very uncouth language, and you and Bukola in the studio have said it all. It is unbecoming of a public office holder. Apparently, it is also the mental attitude that it is we versus them, those that we have elected to preside over our common patrimony. They are the ones who now look at the rest of Nigerians as servants. So it's not a master-servant relationship. Otherwise, I do not think a governor or a minister should be talking to any Nigerian citizen in that form. Talk less a serving military officer. These are people, individuals who have laid down their lives for the rest of us. I mean, this is a shame, honestly speaking, this morning.
And we hope that we do not have to talk about this or see such events play out again. But why am I not very optimistic about that, Mr. Ikeria? I guess the answer lies in the obvious. Let's head over to the Nigerian Tribune this morning, and it also focuses on security, but from another perspective, or another aspect, if you like. Reps begin probe of border security architecture funding, and there are some very worrying riders underneath the big story here. Only 84 out of identified 1,978 entry points are officially manned by security operatives. Now, 84 out of 1,978 entry points. In the 2024 budget alone, about 4.1 trillion naira was allocated to defense. And we have an undetermined amount that is allocated to the subnationals as security vote. Is this justified? And doesn't it seem like we're playing Ludo with security, hence the killings that we continue to see?
Yeah, apparently I agree. The issue of border security has presented a debilitating ailment to national security itself. Now, what is our national security plan if you cannot secure your borders? You keep hearing government officials, saying that our borders are too porous. The Nigerian borders are wide, they are too porous. I mean, it's just a shame when you hear these narratives. Why are you in public office if you cannot secure the borders? Now we are more than 65 years in nationhood, in statehood. We are still talking about border security. What is the stretch? What is the size of Nigerian border that we cannot really police adequately? Early this morning at about 5 a.m., I drove a long stretch in the nation's capital, Abuja here. You can't see one policeman, one police vehicle. You can't find anywhere. That is the nation's capital. A lot of money is voted to police the cities for border security. You just cannot find these equipments. You can't find these individuals. And that is why we continue to have, cross-border inflow of light weapons and arms coming in that is used by terrorists who are also crossing the borders up and down and killing Nigerians. So if we can't secure our borders, then we have lost the moral right to talk about internal security, because once the internal security is breached, the individuals who breached it they have their route. They just go back to neighboring countries, whether it is Chad, Niger, or Cameroon. They go back there and then they can cross back at will. So I think the first point with regards to trying to secure borders is to shut down the border. If I were Mr. President, by now we'll shut down the border for 3 months and then crack down heavily on those who will be trapped in the country. They can't return back to their bases outside of the country. That's the first thing to do. Shut down the entire stretch of border, whether from Katsina down to Lagos, Benin, Ogun State. Shut the entire border down so nobody crosses in and out. Those who are the people who are saying, "Oh, our brothers live across the border," oh, they are in Niger and Chad. I see these people as sympathizers who are also opening the doors for individuals to come and breach our national security. The time and moment for unnecessary emotion and sympathy, I must say, this morning is over. We have to get down to work. We have to safeguard our country. We have to restore our national pride and dignity as a country. And the first thing to do, even as provided for in the Constitution, by way of, the entire purpose of government is for the security and welfare of citizens. So if government cannot guarantee the security of citizens, then I wonder what people are doing in government. But I must also this morning say that the president is doing his best. He has reshuffled the security architecture. We now have a new service chief. We have a new CDS, and I think they are getting back to work in a manner that I'm sure in the next few weeks and months, perhaps we'll see the positive results coming out, as alluded to by the minister. We'll wait and see. Our hands are crossed.
All right, Mr. Kariga, let's get to the Guardian newspaper. This is, I know you're interested in this particular one as well. Ambition, legal battle, stop PDP convention, threaten 2027 prospect. It's like this is a roller coaster for the PDP. The kinds of things I've seen happen with the PDP can only be in a movie. But what do you make of this?
Well, I think those who want who want the soul of the PDP are just afraid of that party. You know, they think that perhaps if the PDP is able to rejuvenate, is able to rekindle itself and come alive and mobilize its forces, perhaps that can present a formidable force in 2027. But that's the beauty of pluralistic democracy which we are practicing. You know, if we should have opposition parties, you know, being able to mobilize their ranks and then contest elections. Electorates and voters should have choices, because that's the beauty of the electoral system, electoral democracy itself. If people do not have choices, then that is not a democracy. That is some kind of, it's a mockery of pseudo-democracy, as I'll put it. So this morning, I think that you know, having court judgments that will ask the PDP to proceed with its convention, and then you have other court judgments, you know, placing a ban on the convention. Again, this comes to the judiciary. The judiciary itself needs to put its house in order. Once a court has made pronouncement, I would think that a sister court with co-ed jurisdiction or powers should either take a cue from what you know, the co-ed court has pronounced, except one of the parties approach the appellate court, which is a superior court to the court of first instance. So this is just the whole gamut of the national crisis that we have, where you have even the judiciary the judiciary that is unable to put its ass in order, and then you see this contrary judgment that clashes, you know, here and there. So it's unfortunate. But for me, I think that the PDP should be allowed to do its convention in peace, and so that Nigerians can have a choice. The Labour Party should put its house in order. ADC and other parties should be allowed to put their houses in order. But again, who do you blame? I think the PDP itself is also suffering from internal nausea, internal, you know, contradiction. It's a self-inflicted injury. The party leaders itself are not able to put their house in order. And as Shino Achebe would say, things fall apart. Things fall apart. The center cannot hold. That is what is happening to that party. It's so unfortunate. It's a show of shame also in that party.
We'll continue to watch how things play out with the People's Democratic Party as well as other political parties as a build-up to the 2027 general election, because it feels like the big agenda is to make sure that this party doesn't produce a presidential candidate. And I'm sure they know, and I'm sure that they know that. One of the things that is very worrying is trying to be blindsided on what is quite obvious and how to address it. But I must thank you, Igor Akarega, as always, for bringing your expertise on these issues as far as dailies are concerned. Igor Akarega is a member of the Nigerian Guild of Editors and also a journalist. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you.
It's always a pleasure. By the way, editors have converged in Abuja for the annual national convention that is hosted by the FCT. This morning, I think editors are going to the villa, and Mr. President is going to declare the conference open. So it's a good one for the media this morning.
Fantastic. And I'm sure they will engage him on issues of national interest. What a time to have that conference, especially now. But thank you. Thank you, Mr. Akarega. Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
We'll take a break. When we come back after the break, we'll switch gears now to talk about what exactly is going on with the People's Democratic Party. The convention was stopped by a court, a federal high court. The state high court came and said, no, you can continue. Well, another case was in court at the federal high court filed by former governor, and that has restrained the PDP from holding its national convention. What exactly is going on? That is the next conversation right here on the program. Join us again.